So Everton 0, Arsenal 1. That was a long evening, guys. And we have gone back to the top of the league. Man City obviously got their job done against West Ham. Convincing, really. And we had a bit of pressure on us. We very nearly bottled it. Yeah, we got extremely lucky. I don't want to hear nothing about VAR. Don't want to hear nothing about PGMOL. Nothing about referees ever again. Ever again. We got out of jail tonight. We were not convincing. We were not great. Our attack stinks. Chris, fair play to him, but this is a football discussion show for entertainment and opinion only. We do not talk about politics, personal targeting, or hate. Make sure you sub to the Southern Gooner, link in the title. Matty, that was the longest game of football I've watched since last week when we played Wolves. What did you think of that, my guy?
Well, we got the 3 points. In a perfect world, that's what you would ask for in coming out of today's game, because we all looked at that game and saw potential banana skin right there, and we were able to get a goal. We avoided some costly errors, massively costly errors in that game, and we got the 3 points lead. But I want to caution a lot of people, and I told Novsky this. We normally chat right after the game. And I told him, I said, Normie, I just hope that we're not using up all our chances, because you would want to see those kind of results we just saw today. You want to see that in April, May, when you just need 3 games to get over the line. You just got to get something to get over the line. And when I say that, what I mean is, if we're going to have these stutters or, just scuffling to get over the line, and we've got to make sure we're on point for the rest of the season, because there's no way we're going to be able to play like we played the last 2 weeks. Well, actually 3 weeks, depending on how you want to look at it, and think that we're not going to get caught at some point. I said it last week on my fan cam. I say it again this week. If we're playing a team with a better better offensive efficiency output, then we're having a different discussion, and we're avoiding that. But there are teams coming up that can exploit that now, and they're going to have to fix that, because we saw a lot of errors today. We got out of jail there on the potential penalty. We got out of jail on a couple of chances that they had where they just couldn't find a way to get the ball sorted out to have a shot on goal. And I know a lot of the fan base is going to say, what are you complaining about? I'm not necessarily complaining. I'm just bringing awareness to the issues that I'm looking at, that we've got to fix these problems, because with the games, this is it. We're getting ready to go into a game every 3 or 4 days. Injuries. You got to navigate that. You got players coming back, but you've also looking like you're gonna have players coming out soon. Saliba doesn't look 100%. I mean, let's not kid ourselves there. I mean, he looks, a step or 2 off the pace. Saka looks like, he's a step or 3 off the pace. Everybody, was clutching their pearls today when Calafiori hit the ground. So, Saka went down holding his ankle. Everybody's looking. You're hoping he gets up. He gets up. Thank goodness. I feel like we're not sharp. And I want people to understand the difference in, good form is cool, but we need to be match sharp. We're not match sharply. I'm seeing, we're giving the ball away in midfield today. The amount of times we gave the ball away in midfield today, for a moment I thought I was back on the pitch coaching again, because I was about to lose it. And I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous.
That wasn't a good advertisement for Premier football for both teams.
Yeah, but with Lee, we're supposed to be the team that's in first place. We're in first place, so we should be more. We should be controlling the ball. And see, that's a problem that we're running into. We're playing the way that other teams want us to play. So if they want to play if they want to play beach volleyball, they trying to drag us into beach volleyball. Then when we play beach volleyball, we play it right into their hands. what happens? We get the ball, second half, we're in our half. Other team is thinking, cool, the ball is in their half, it's out ours. So let's just try to keep it there and we'll see what we can get out of it. I'm telling you, that's the recipe that teams are using.
We're too slow in transition.
Extremely too slow in
So
transition.
everyone says that we're playing low block.
Yeah, but
we don't play against low block. We make the low block.
We create the low block by the way we play. We should, the ball, once we get the ball, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4 pass in. It should be that efficient to where it scares teams to death. But when we sit back and we're U-shaped, going from left to right, left to right, left to right, sideways, sideways, back around, left to right, left to right. We had an attack there. I can't remember if it was in the first half or the second half. We're going down the left flank. We stopped. We slow. It was Martinelli, I believe. We could.
Yeah, second half. Yeah.
Second half.
Yeah, and we had two overlapping on the right, 3 on 2.
And then just slows it down. You know, soccer again today. Pass the damn ball sometime, man. The dude's right there wide open on the cutback. These are the things that we've got to start doing. We've got to start playing unselfish. We've got to start playing more efficient, and we've got to tighten it up. Because the games, they've all mattered, but they're really gonna matter now for the next 2 months. I told y'all December, January, February, then we going into March. March is when it finally slowed down a little bit. I think we got 3 games in March, and that's depending on if you count cups and all that stuff.
Yeah, Champions League and all that. If we get that far,
But for the foreseeable future, it's gonna be games on top of games. And for me, we're just not sharp enough right now. We're just not sharp. We've got the 3 points. Great. I'm thrilled. This is another feather in the cap. This is one of the few times here that we've been behind and we've got to get points to get back in front. And that's cool. That's going to be part of the process because there's going to be a lot of that over the holiday season. But the fact of the matter is that these niggly issues that I'm seeing with, giving the ball away in midfield, allowing their team to find themselves in our box. I mean, it's like sometimes the way they find themselves in our box, man, it's like amazing. Wide open sometimes. 2 or 3 dudes. And like I said, if the other teams could just put it together, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And we've got
if we're playing a half decent team, if that was Bayern Munich and we played like that, obviously we played great against them, but at the same time, if that was a better team, we lose that game tonight.
Well, see, that's the problem.
Or at least draw.
But see, when you look at that problem, this is the problem when we play teams like Aston Villa. This is where we get punished.
Quick in transition.
Even United, you look at these teams. These are the teams that they have just a little bit more quality than what Everton had out there today. And then you have another issue. You take Newcastle again. You take 5 out of 5 chances. You think we're not going to have a trouble out of at least one of those games? And that's a potential Carabao Cup opponent. So, I mean, it's like you have to start looking at this and like say, hey, we need to start addressing these issues and tightening it up. I know folks are going to say, well, I don't expect us to win every game looking like $1 million. That's true. But at the same time, fundamental football still needs to be played. And controlling the ball in the second half, especially when you're on your own side of the pitch in midfield, is a must. Because you don't want to be turning the ball over in midfield and have that kind of chaos that we saw there in about the midway through that.
Who caused the chaos?
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be turning the ball over like that and having that kind of chaos.
Somebody said in the chat, mate, when we was on the watch along, they said, yeah, we have played some through balls tonight. Yeah, all backwards. And then you came out and said, or somebody in the chat, it might have been you, and said, yeah, cool. Yeah, we're literally having to play the ball and take a man on.
1v1s in our own half of the pitch.
We're controlling the game, we're winning the game, and we're pouncing around at the back, slowing everything down to try and draw them out.
Yep.
Bro, quick 1-2 touch football. We battered them tonight because they're not good.
They're not good. Not good at all. I mean, they most of their players were missing. The meat and potatoes of what they needed was missing. Let's talk about Martin Odegaard. Let's talk about Martin Odegaard. Let's talk about
Captain Marvelous, yeah.
This brother, and I tell you what, Lee, I got after tonight, my phone was blowing up about Martin Odegaard tonight. But this is what we were trying to tell people. We've been telling people this for the last few years, but I've been on it all year this year. I told y'all, Martin Odegaard, once again, Shout out to the Nigerian brother who came out with that meme a couple of weeks ago. Pass the ball. Odegaard passed the ball, because tonight you saw the exact same thing that brother highlighted earlier this week on that Instagram reel. You saw it again today. Same exact situation. Same exact situation. Same exact result. Odegaard, he may have aspirations of making that pass, but Odegaard can't make that pass. And if he do, it'll be 1 out of 100. 1 out of 200 times. And he has to learn that. But I don't know if he can, Lee. It's so late in his
career. Too late, matey. This is his 12th professional season of football.
Yeah, for him to pull that out the jaw. Because he had him through there again. The best through pass came from a defender to Victor Gyökeres tonight. How criminal is that? The best pass through to the striker came from William Saliba. Lee, this is why I said we're not sharp. We're not sharp. And I'm looking at the same behavior that we saw last week, that I saw against Aston Villa. And we got to tighten it up. We got to tighten it up, man, especially in the Premier League. We got to tighten it up. And what has Matt Wakey done not to get 1 ounce of game time in the last 2 games, especially in games like tonight, in games like last week? Eze, 0. So
Ethan.
oh man, come on, Ethan. You know what DJB called Ethan Smith Rowe. That's what DJB calls it. And last time you'll see him Wednesday. If you want to see him, you might see him Wednesday. You might see Eze. I expect to see Eze the full meal deal on Wednesday. Him and Matt Wakey, they should be playing the entire game. Saka and Odegaard shouldn't even touch the pitch, because that's 2 games. They shouldn't even. You might actually get a high offensive output, with those 2 out there, because they hadn't played 2 games, so there shouldn't be any excuses. That's what Shane talks about all the time. They were rested, ready to go.
Yeah,
so
then everyone will hype them up.
Yeah,
they'll hype them up. Oh, they should be playing, because it's now the new shiny toy based off the last performance.
They should have been playing the last 2 games.
Yeah. Matt Wakey should have started the last 2 games. How did you score 2 goals in that game against Bruges and not whole pitch at all?
You telling me Eze and Matt Wakey couldn't have got the same result today if they'd been out there? That's what I'm saying. They could have played today. See, when we talk about rotation, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. They could have played. They could have played these last 2 games without a problem. Lee, we
probably would have done better as well.
Yep, we got to tighten it up, man, because today that was another warning sign when everybody looked up at that table and they saw who was up there, and they said, "Uh-oh, yeah, we got the points today." But I'm here to tell you, who wants to deal with that every week? I don't. So
we've seen it. We've been there, done it.
No, I don't feel like
with scars, bro.
Back and forth. We need to go on a sustained run, and we need to tighten it up. It needs to get.
Man City have never lost a title race.
Yeah, well,
when they've been involved and tussled in a title race under Pep, they've never lost one.
If we want to win one, we better learn how to do it this year.
Facts. Listen, Matty, I know you're going to Brazil for the holidays. Yeah, bless up to you, brother.
Yes,
Make sure you sub to the Southern Guna. Link will be in the title. Matty, credits to my channel, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I love watching football with you, man. Like, even if it's offline and we're sitting backstage and we're watching football, like, and catching up. Yeah, love you, man. Like, you're a genuinely nice person.
I appreciate it, brother.
Great. And you spit facts as well, matey. And the chat love you. Yeah. What does this Yank know? Well, he knows quite a lot, lads and lasses. Yeah, but enjoy Brazil, man, and enjoy the holidays, man.
Appreciate you. Appreciate Kenny, DJB, and enjoyed doing the show with you all. Everybody else, man. Kind of, if I didn't call your name, kind of to my heart, not my head. Big up to the chat as always, man. Much love to everyone. Want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a safe New Year, and we need to get some big points, y'all. Let's get some. That'd be the great Christmas gift if we can get some maximum points on this Christmas run.
Yeah, so, man. Come on.
Cheers, brothers.
I'll see you in the new year, my guy. I'll toast to that.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, make sure you sub to Matty. We're out. I'll see you Wednesday. Well, actually, Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday, guys.